There comes a moment in everyone's life when everything shatters. Your dreams, your plans, your strength. You look around and wonder how it all fell apart so quickly. The people you trusted walk away, the things you built crumble, and the fire inside you starts to fade. It's in those moments when life breaks you that your true character is revealed, because pain is not here to destroy you, it's here to rebuild you. Every broken piece is a lesson, every scar a reminder that you survived something that was meant to end you. You see, strength isn't forged in comfort, it's created in the storm. Growth doesn't happen when life is easy. It happens when you're on your knees fighting to rise again. When life breaks you, it's not the end of your story, it's the beginning of your rebirth. That breaking is the sound of your old limits shattering. It's the universe forcing you to dig deeper, to rise stronger, to become someone new. And the ones who rise after being broken, they don't just live, they inspire. They move differently, they think differently, because they've seen darkness and chosen to become their own light. Pain is the catalyst for transformation. It is the invisible force that shapes the strongest versions of us, the silent teacher that strips away our illusions and exposes the raw truth of who we really are. Pain demands our attention. It pulls us out of our comfort zones and forces us to confront the parts of ourselves we often try to hide. When everything feels easy, we grow comfortable, complacent, and numb to our potential. But when pain enters, it ignites something fierce inside us. It challenges us to look beyond what is familiar, to question what we've been accepting as normal, and to begin the journey towards something greater. Pain is not punishment, it is preparation. It breaks the shell of who you used to be, so that the person you are meant to become can emerge. Every great transformation begins with discomfort. The athlete endures pain to strengthen the body. The dreamer endures rejection to sharpen the vision. The soul endures heartbreak to awaken its depth. You cannot evolve without breaking through the limits of who you are now. Pain has a purpose. It carves away weakness, excuses, and fear until only strength remains. It burns away the illusion that growth can come without struggle. It teaches you what comfort never could, that you are capable of surviving storms you never imagined you could face. When pain strikes, most people run. They numb it, hide it, or pretend it isn't there. But those who face it, those who lean into the fire, discover something extraordinary. They find power. They realize that pain doesn't break them. It reveals them. It reveals the warrior within, the unshakable will that no setback can defeat. Pain exposes the truth about your character. When everything is easy, anyone can smile, stay calm, and appear strong. But when life hits hard, when dreams collapse, when losses cut deep, that's when the real strength shows up. The moments that hurt the most often carry the most valuable lessons. They teach patience, empathy, resilience, and self-awareness. Pain humbles you. It forces you to slow down, to listen, to feel, and in that stillness, transformation begins. There is a strange beauty in pain because it awakens what lies dormant within you. It demands that you grow, that you adapt, that you rise. Every scar is a sign that you faced something that tried to destroy you but failed. Every heartbreak is proof that you dared to care deeply, even when the world gave you reasons not to. Every failure is evidence that you tried, that you had the courage to reach beyond your limits. Pain refines your purpose. It clarifies what matters and what doesn't. It teaches you gratitude, not for the suffering itself, but for the strength it gave you, for the wisdom it left behind. Think about every powerful person you admire. The leaders, the creators, the visionaries, the survivors, none of them reached greatness without pain. Every story of triumph began with struggle. Every victory was preceded by defeat. They didn't become strong despite their pain. They became strong because of it. Pain pushes you to dig deeper than you thought possible. It awakens hidden potential and forces you to evolve into someone new. The caterpillar doesn't transform into a butterfly without first enduring the darkness of the cocoon. Likewise, you cannot step into your higher self without first going through the breaking. Pain teaches you to let go of control, to surrender to life's process. It reminds you that growth isn't linear. It's chaotic, messy, and uncomfortable. The moments you think you're breaking are often the moments you're being rebuilt. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt is part of the transformation. The process hurts because you're shedding old versions of yourself, old habits, old beliefs, old fears. You're evolving, and evolution is never gentle. Pain stretches your soul until it expands enough to hold more strength, more wisdom, more love. When you embrace pain instead of avoiding it, you reclaim your power. You stop seeing yourself as a victim and start recognizing yourself as a creator. Pain becomes your tool, your guide, your mentor. It teaches you compassion for others who suffer. It deepens your appreciation for joy when it finally returns. It gives meaning to your story. Transformation doesn't come from avoiding pain. It comes from walking through it with purpose. You don't have to like it, but you must learn from it. You must allow it to mold you into something stronger, wiser, and more capable. The truth is, you cannot fully awaken until you've known pain. You cannot appreciate light until you've been lost in darkness. You cannot understand strength until you've been weak. Pain gives life contrast. It defines the depth of our experience. Without it, there would be no growth, no gratitude, no real sense of meaning. Every time life breaks you, it's giving you a chance to rebuild differently, to choose growth over bitterness, to find power in the places that once felt powerless. Pain transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. It turns fear into courage, wounds into wisdom, and loss into purpose. It is not the end of your journey. It is the moment your transformation truly begins. Strength is born in the moments of struggle. It is not something you inherit or something handed down to you by fate. It is something you earn through the battles you face when life tests your limits. True strength is not built in comfort or ease. It is forged in the moments when everything feels impossible, when the weight of the world seems too heavy to carry, and yet you still choose to stand. Struggle is the furnace that refines the human spirit, burning away weakness and hesitation until only courage and resilience remain. Every obstacle, every failure, every heartbreak is shaping you into something stronger than you were yesterday. The pain you feel now is the foundation of the power you will hold tomorrow, when everything around you seems to be falling apart. When no one believes in you, when your efforts go unnoticed, that is when strength begins to form. Those silent battles you fight within yourself. When you get up after being knocked down, when you keep moving forward without any guarantee of success, those are the moments that build you. Struggle reveals your potential. It uncovers the power that lies buried beneath fear, doubt, and insecurity. Each time you endure what once seemed unbearable, you expand your limits. You begin to realize that strength isn't about never breaking. It's about breaking and still choosing to rise. Life's challenges are not here to destroy you, but to show you what you're made of. Every setback is a lesson, every hardship a training ground for the next level of your life. The people who rise to greatness are not those who never struggled. They are the ones who refuse to quit in the face of struggle. They understand that strength is not born in moments of victory, but in moments of exhaustion when every part of you wants to give up, but your heart whispers, keep going. That's where power is born, not in the comfort of success, but in the chaos of perseverance. The more you are tested, the more you learn to trust your own resilience. There is something sacred about struggle because it strips you down to your essence. It removes the masks, the pretenses, and the illusions you cling to when life is easy. In the face of struggle, you meet your real self, the one who refuses to be defined by fear, the one who keeps fighting even when no one is watching. Strength is built not in public victories, but in private battles. It's built in the nights you cry yourself to sleep and still wake up determined to try again. It's built in the moments of silence when you wrestle with your doubts but choose faith instead. Strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the quiet voice that says, I will try again tomorrow. Every struggle changes you. It reshapes the way you see the world and the way you see yourself. It teaches you patience when life delays what you desire. It teaches you humility when you fail and compassion when you see others fall. It gives you empathy, depth, and wisdom. The greatest people in history, the inventors, the leaders, the visionaries, were not born extraordinary. They were ordinary people who faced extraordinary challenges and refused to back down. They were shaped by pain, sharpened by adversity, and strengthened by struggle. There are times when struggle feels endless, when you question whether the fight is worth it. You feel trapped, alone, and defeated. But even in those moments, something powerful is happening beneath the surface. Growth is taking place in the unseen spaces of your soul. Just like a seed that pushes through the darkness of the soil before reaching the light, you are growing in the silence of your struggle. The pressure, the pain, the resistance, they are all necessary. Without them, you would never become who you're meant to be. Strength is not about being unbreakable. It's about learning to rebuild every time you fall apart. Every scar is a story of survival. Every bruise is proof that you kept fighting. Every tear is a step closer to resilience. Struggle doesn't weaken you. It awakens you. It forces you to adapt, to think differently, to find power in places you didn't know existed. It teaches you that no one can save you but yourself. And that realization alone changes everything. When life tests you, when doors close, when everything you hoped for seems lost, remember that those moments are molding you into the person capable of handling what you've prayed for. Strength is not developed when everything goes your way. It's developed when nothing does. It's born in the nights of uncertainty, in the pain of discipline, in the silence of perseverance. Every great achievement comes with a story of struggle behind it. The muscles of your body grow only when torn and rebuilt stronger. Your spirit grows the same way. Struggle is not a curse. It is a calling. It is life's way of preparing you for something greater than you can see right now. It challenges you to keep going. When logic says stop, it teaches you that even when you are weak, even when you are afraid, you still have the power to choose. And in that choice, to continue, to endure, to fight, you find strength. The kind of strength that cannot be taught in books, the kind that no one can give or take away. It's the kind that lives deep inside your soul, waiting for the storm to awaken it. Every breakdown carries the seed of a breakthrough. Life has a way of tearing down everything we thought was certain, dismantling our plans and forcing us into moments of deep confusion and pain. At first it feels cruel, like the world has turned its back on us. Everything we've worked for begins to fall apart, and the ground beneath us starts to tremble. But hidden inside that destruction is something sacred, something that cannot be seen in the beginning. The breakdown is not the end, it's the doorway to transformation. Every collapse holds within it the raw material needed to build something greater. The chaos, the pain, the loss, all serve a higher purpose if you dare to look beyond the suffering and see what's being born inside you. When life breaks you, it's easy to believe that you failed, that all your efforts were meaningless. You question everything. Your worth, your purpose, your direction. But what feels like the end is often the beginning of a new chapter you were meant to live. The breakdown strips away what no longer serves you. It removes the layers of comfort, illusion, and dependence you've been carrying, leaving you face to face with your true self. And in that raw space where everything is uncertain, you begin to see the truth of who you are and what you're capable of. The pain becomes a teacher, the loss becomes a message, and the silence becomes a space where you begin to rebuild. Every great breakthrough in life is born from a breakdown. The greatest inventions, the most powerful transformations, and the deepest awakenings come from moments when people thought they couldn't go on. It's in those moments of collapse that the soul awakens. You start to see the patterns that kept you trapped, the habits that held you back, the fears that controlled you. The breakdown shakes you awake, forcing you to evolve. It destroys what was built on weakness so that you can rebuild on strength. Without it, you would remain stuck in the same cycle, never realizing the depth of your own power. When things fall apart, it's not because you are being punished, it's because something greater is being constructed. Life removes what you thought you needed to make room for what you truly need. The pain you feel now is not a sign of failure, but a sign of growth. Just as a seed must break before it can grow, you too must break open to become more. The breakdown is the cracking of your old shell, the destruction of the walls you built to protect yourself. Those walls kept you safe, but they also kept you small. When they fall, it hurts. It feels like everything is ending, but in reality, it's expansion. You're being stretched beyond what's familiar, prepared for a higher level of strength and awareness. The people who rise after a breakdown are never the same. They walk differently, they see differently, they love differently, because they've been to the depths of despair and found themselves there. They faced darkness and discovered light within. That's what a breakthrough is. It's not about escaping the pain, but transcending it. It's about transforming what once broke you into the very fuel that drives your evolution. Every time you survive something that should have destroyed you, you become stronger, wiser, and more grounded in who you are. Breakdowns test your faith in ways comfort never could. When everything is stable, faith is easy. But when the world collapses around you and you still choose to believe that something greater is unfolding, that is where true faith is born. The breakdown gives you no certainty, no guarantees, no control. It forces you to surrender. And in that surrender, you open yourself to possibilities you couldn't see before. You begin to understand that control was never the goal. Growth was the greatest breakthroughs. Happen when you stop fighting the fall and start learning from it. There are moments in life when everything has to fall apart so you can rise differently. You lose people, jobs, opportunities, or dreams you once thought defined you. But those losses are not random. They are the universe's way of clearing your path. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, but it's necessary. The breakdown dismantles your old identity so you can build one aligned with who you truly are. It clears away what you've outgrown. It challenges you to let go of what you've been clinging to and trust the process of becoming. Every storm you face is designed to reveal your strength. Every heartbreak is designed to deepen your compassion. Every failure is designed to teach you humility and persistence. The breakthrough is always hidden behind the moment you think you can't go any further. It's in that final stretch when everything inside you screams to give up that the transformation begins. The darkness before dawn always feels endless, but it's also the most fertile time for change. It's the space where your next version is being born. When you are in the middle of a breakdown, it's hard to see the light. You might feel lost, empty, disconnected, but even in that emptiness, something powerful is happening. The old parts of you are dissolving, making way for new strength, new wisdom, new clarity. The breakdown purifies you. It burns away the unnecessary so that only the essential remains. What emerges after is not the same person who entered the storm. You come out with deeper gratitude, stronger faith, and a clearer purpose. You begin to understand that every ending was secretly a beginning in disguise. Every breakdown carries the seed of a breakthrough, but you must be willing to trust the process. You must believe that the pain is not permanent and that what's being built from the ashes is greater than what was lost. You must allow the storm to do its work, to shape you, to refine you, to mold you into someone who no longer breaks under pressure, but grows because of it. Growth requires discomfort and endurance. It demands that you step into spaces that feel uncertain, face challenges that shake your confidence, and persist through moments when giving up seems easier than going on. Growth isn't soft, it isn't gentle, it's a relentless process of shedding what you used to be so that you can become who you were meant to be. Every time you evolve, a part of you resists because the human mind craves safety and familiarity, but nothing extraordinary ever grows in comfort. The people who reach new heights, who rise beyond their limitations, are the ones who've learned to make peace with discomfort. They understand that pain is not a signal to stop. It's a sign that transformation is happening. The muscles of your character, your resilience, your discipline, they are strengthened only when stretched beyond their limits. Growth begins the moment comfort ends. The truth is, most people want change without struggle, results without resistance, evolution without endurance. But growth doesn't work that way. It asks for sacrifice, for patience, for courage to keep moving even when progress feels invisible. Endurance is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the ability to stay committed when nothing seems to be working, when doors keep closing, when the world seems to conspire against your dream. That's when real growth happens, not in the moments of applause, but in the silence of persistence. Discomfort is the classroom of progress, and endurance is the teacher. It tests your limits, asks you who you really are when no one's watching, and teaches you that success is not built overnight. It's built through relentless perseverance. Growth requires you to face yourself. It forces you to confront your fears, your insecurities, and your habits that hold you back. It challenges your excuses and destroys your comfort zones. The process is never easy because transformation means letting go of the person you were yesterday. It's uncomfortable to unlearn what you once believed, to detach from what you thought you needed, and to step into something new without certainty. But every moment of discomfort carries the seed of expansion. The things that scare you most are often the very things that have the power to set you free. Enduring that discomfort teaches you patience, self-control, and inner strength. It molds your character in ways that comfort never could. Every great story of success is a story of endurance. Behind every achievement lies a journey filled with struggle, failure, and moments of doubt. The athlete trains when tired, the dreamer keeps creating after rejection, the fighter keeps moving after defeat. They understand that the pain of discipline is far lighter than the pain of regret. Growth rewards those who stay, those who endure long enough to see their efforts bear fruit. The journey may be slow, the progress invisible, but endurance ensures that the work you do today becomes the foundation of who you become tomorrow. The people who quit when things get hard never discover how close they were to breaking through. The ones who stay, who keep showing up, eventually reach heights they once thought impossible. Discomfort refines you. It burns away the parts of you that are weak, impatient, or afraid. It teaches you humility and respect for the process. It reminds you that mastery is not achieved by talent alone, but by persistence through difficulty. Endurance builds your spirit the same way weight builds your body through resistance. Without struggle, you stagnate. Without resistance, you weaken. Growth thrives on pressure. It's the friction of effort that polishes your potential into something strong and unshakable. When you push yourself beyond what's comfortable, you begin to see who you really are and what you're truly capable of. There will be days when growth feels unbearable, when the discomfort feels endless and the results invisible. That's when most people give up. But endurance is the art of continuing when your motivation fades. It's choosing to take one more step, even when you can't see the destination. It's trusting that the effort you put in today is not wasted, that the struggle you're facing is shaping you for something greater. Growth doesn't announce itself with clarity. It hides in the small moments of persistence, the extra hour of work, the choice to get up early, the decision to stay disciplined when it would be easier to quit. All of these moments are shaping your future. To grow means to change, and to change means to feel discomfort. It's the law of progress. Nothing improves without friction. The seed must break to sprout. The muscle must tear to grow. The soul must struggle to awaken. You cannot reach your potential by staying where it feels safe. You must step into the unknown, endure the uncertainty, and trust the process. Endurance teaches you that pain is temporary, but growth is permanent. What feels unbearable today becomes the strength you rely on tomorrow. Every challenge you survive expands your capacity for more. Every obstacle you overcome builds your foundation. Deeper discomfort and endurance are not your enemies. They are your greatest allies. They teach you to stop seeking the easy path and start walking the meaningful one. They train your mind to see beyond temporary struggle and focus on long-term purpose. Growth requires that you fall, fail, and rise repeatedly. It demands that you keep showing up, even when it hurts, even when no one notices, even when it feels like nothing's changing. Because in those invisible moments, transformation is quietly taking place. You are being stretched, refined, prepared. The pain you feel is not punishment. It's proof that you're evolving. Endure the discomfort, embrace the uncertainty, and trust that every challenge you face is carving you into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Resilience is built when everything falls apart. It's not something you can learn from a book or develop when life is easy. It's forged in the fires of chaos, in the moments when your world crumbles and you're left to gather the pieces on your own. Resilience is not about pretending to be strong. It's about choosing to keep moving when you have every reason to stop. It's about holding yourself together when life tears at your edges, about standing tall when everything inside you feels broken. True resilience isn't built in sunshine. It's born in storms. When everything you counted on disappears, when you have nothing left but your will to continue, that's when resilience begins to grow inside you. When life breaks down everything you thought was stable, it strips away all illusions of control. You're forced to face yourself without masks, without distractions. That's where resilience is formed. In the quiet moments when you have no choice but to fight through the pain. It's in the nights when sleep escapes you, when you question your worth, when hope feels like a distant memory. Every breath you take in that darkness, every small step you choose to make despite the weight, is an act of resilience. You learn that strength is not about never falling, it's about always getting back up. The world may try to knock you down again and again, but the resilient soul refuses to stay there. It learns to rise, not once, but every time. Resilience is built through loss, disappointment, and failure. Each time something you love slips away, each time a plan collapses, you are given a choice to surrender or to rise. It's in choosing to rise that you grow. Pain becomes a sculptor, carving away the unnecessary until only your core remains. You become unshakable, not because life stops being hard, but because you stop being easily broken. You realize that the storm is not your enemy, it's your trainer. Every setback becomes another weight added to your strength, another lesson that teaches you endurance. Over time, you start to see pain differently. It no longer signals the end, but rather the beginning of something new. When everything falls apart, you discover what truly matters. You stop chasing what's shallow and start holding on to what's real. You stop living for approval and start living with purpose. Resilience gives you perspective. It shows you that no failure is final and no heartbreak is permanent. It teaches you to look beyond the temporary suffering and find meaning in the experience. You start to realize that sometimes life has to strip you bare to rebuild you stronger. The things you lose along the way often make room for what was meant to find you. The plans that fall apart often redirect you toward paths you never would have seen otherwise. Resilience grows when you learn to trust that even your lowest moments are shaping something valuable inside you. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has known moments of complete collapse. They've faced rejection, betrayal, and loss, but they refused to let those moments define them. They understood that resilience isn't about bouncing back to who you were. It's about rising as someone new. Every time you rebuild yourself, you come back wiser, stronger, and more aware of your own power. The cracks in your soul become the places where light enters. You stop fearing failure because you know you can survive it. You stop running from pain because you've learned how to use it. That's what resilience is. It's the quiet, unshakable confidence that no matter what happens, you will not break. Resilience is not about pretending that everything is fine. It's about acknowledging the pain, feeling it fully, and still finding a way to move forward. It's about crying when you need to, but refusing to stay down. It's about knowing that healing takes time. But progress still depends on effort. Every act of courage, no matter how small, becomes a building block for your strength. When life feels unbearable, resilience whispers that you've been here before and you made it out then, and you will again. It's the voice inside you that reminds you to take one more breath, one more step, one more try. The beauty of resilience is that it transforms suffering into strength. It takes what was meant to destroy you and turns it into your armor. The things that once hurt you become the very tools that protect and empower you. The pain that broke you becomes the fuel that drives you forward. You begin to see setbacks not as dead ends, but as detours. You learn to trust the timing of your life even when it doesn't make sense. Each fall becomes another chance to rebuild your foundation with more wisdom and stability than before. When you develop resilience, you stop fearing chaos. You stop being paralyzed by uncertainty because you know you've already survived worse. You start meeting life with a calm, quiet strength that can't be shaken by temporary storms. People who are resilient don't avoid pain. They face it, they learn from it, and they rise through it. That's why they stand out, why their presence feels grounded, why their energy feels unbreakable. They faced the fire and found themselves within it. When everything falls apart, you realize that resilience was never something you had to find. It was something you had to remember. It was already within you. Waiting for the moment life became too heavy for comfort to carry, each hardship becomes a mirror, showing you the strength you didn't know you had. Resilience is what turns pain into purpose, failure into foundation, and endings into beginnings. It's what allows you to look at the ruins of what was and see not destruction, but the opportunity to rebuild something even greater. Rock bottom is not the end, it's the foundation for rebirth. It's the place where illusions die, where the noise fades, and where you finally meet the truth of who you are. When you hit rock bottom, everything you once relied on begins to fall away. Your plans, your confidence, your sense of control. It feels like the ground beneath you has disappeared, leaving you in a cold and endless darkness. But what you can't see in those moments is that this darkness is fertile ground. It's the soil in which strength, clarity, and purpose begin to take root. Rock bottom is not the death of your story. It's the moment you stop pretending and start rebuilding. It's the raw space where transformation begins. When you reach the lowest point, you are stripped of all pretense. There's no more pretending to be fine, no more chasing validation, no more hiding behind masks. You are left with nothing but yourself, your pain, your thoughts, your truth, and that's where the shift begins. Because when you have nothing left to lose, you gain something invaluable. Freedom from expectations, from opinions, from the weight of everything that once defined you. At rock bottom, you start seeing life through clearer eyes. The distractions fade, and what truly matters begins to reveal itself. You realize that all along, what you needed wasn't more comfort or certainty. It was the courage to face yourself. Rock bottom is brutal, but it's honest. It doesn't care about your ego, your reputation, or your past achievements. It exposes what's real. It forces you to confront your weaknesses, your fears, and the parts of you that you've avoided. It's a breaking point, yes, but also a cleansing. Everything false burns away, leaving only what's true. That's why so many transformations begin there, because it's only when you lose everything that you discover what's unshakable within you. The pain you feel at the bottom isn't there to destroy you. It's there to rebuild you differently. It's life's way of saying, this version of you is no longer enough for where you're going. The beauty of rock bottom is that it gives you the chance to start over with intention. You're no longer climbing for the wrong reasons. You stop chasing what doesn't fulfill you. You stop living for approval or appearances. You begin to rebuild from a place of authenticity. Every decision becomes rooted in truth, not fear. You stop asking, what will people think? And start asking, what do I really want? You stop running from pain and start learning from it. You realize that you don't have to go back to who you were. You get to become someone entirely new. The fall doesn't define you, the rise does. Many people fear rock bottom, but in truth, it's one of life's greatest teachers. It shows you that happiness cannot come from things that can be taken away. It teaches you resilience, humility, and faith. It forces you to let go of control and trust in something greater, something unseen but deeply real. When you're at your lowest, every small step becomes meaningful. Every breath becomes an act of defiance. Every sunrise feels like a second chance. You start valuing the simple things, the warmth of a new day, the kindness of a stranger, the quiet peace of survival. You begin to rebuild your life not on shallow desires, but on gratitude and purpose. At rock bottom, you realize how much strength you've always had. You see that the things you thought would break you only refined you. The fall may hurt, but the rebuilding gives you depth. You start to understand that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. Every person who's ever risen high has touched the bottom at some point. It's a universal truth. The deeper you fall, the stronger your foundation becomes. Rock bottom doesn't take away your power, it hands it back to you. It reminds you that your worth was never tied to what you lost, but to who you are becoming. The stillness at the bottom gives you time to think, to heal, to rediscover. You begin to see how much of your life was built on things that didn't matter. You start letting go of anger, of pride, of people who were never meant to stay. You stop fighting the fall and start embracing the lesson. The quiet of rock bottom becomes your teacher. It's in that silence that your purpose starts to whisper. It's in that solitude that your next chapter begins to take shape. You realize that everything you've been through was preparing you for something greater. Every scar becomes a reminder, not of what you lost, but of what you survived. The foundation of rock bottom is stronger than you think. It's not made of failure or shame. It's made of truth. When you rebuild from there, you rebuild with authenticity. You no longer care about fitting in or proving yourself. You become focused, disciplined, and grounded. The pain that once broke you becomes your compass, guiding you toward what truly matters. You stop chasing perfection and start living with intention. You stop waiting for the right moment and start creating it. Rock bottom teaches you to respect the climb. You no longer take the light for granted because you've known the darkness. You no longer fear falling because you've learned how to rise. You understand that every fall has a purpose. Every ending carries a beginning. You stop asking, why me? And start saying, try me. You carry yourself differently because you've seen how quickly everything can disappear. You speak differently because you've learned the value of silence. You love differently because you've realized how precious time truly is. Rock bottom is not a curse. It's a calling. It's life's invitation to rebuild yourself from truth, to rise not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to become. The broken become unbreakable when they choose to rise again. It's not the pain that defines them, nor the fall, but the decision to stand when standing hurts. Being broken changes something deep within you. It shatters your illusions, humbles your spirit, and strips away everything superficial. It forces you to confront who you truly are when everything comfortable is gone. But within that breaking lies an extraordinary power, the power to rebuild yourself stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. The ones who rise after being broken carry a strength that can't be taught, only earned. They've looked at the ruins of their lives, taken a deep breath, and chosen to start again, even when hope felt impossible. When life breaks you, it doesn't ask for permission. It comes without warning, without mercy. One day, everything feels secure. The next, it collapses. You find yourself lost, questioning everything, wondering how you'll ever recover. That's the moment when many give up, but for some, something awakens inside. A voice whispers, not yet. It's faint, but it's there. And those who listen to that voice, who take one more step despite the pain, begin the process of becoming unbreakable, because rising after being broken is not about ignoring the pain. It's about walking with it. It's about accepting that the scars will always be there, but refusing to let them define the end of your story. The broken have seen darkness. Most people can't imagine. They've cried silently when no one was watching. They've carried pain that words could never fully express. But through that pain, they develop a different kind of strength, a strength that doesn't need validation, applause, or recognition. It's quiet but powerful. It's the kind of strength that comes from surviving what should have destroyed you. Once you've been broken and learned to rebuild yourself, fear begins to lose its power over you. You've already faced your worst days and survived, and that realization changes everything. The broken who rise no longer live in fear of falling because they know they can rise again. Becoming unbreakable isn't about never being hurt again. It's about knowing that no matter what happens, you have the strength to recover. It's about transforming the pain into wisdom, the loss into perspective, the scars into stories of survival. The process is slow, uncomfortable, and often lonely. Healing is not a straight line. It's a cycle of falling apart and pulling yourself back together. But with every cycle, you grow stronger. You begin to trust yourself again. You begin to see beauty in the broken pieces, realizing that they are proof of your resilience. The broken become unbreakable because they no longer depend on external things for their strength. They've learned that real power doesn't come from what you have, but from what you've overcome. They faced loss and still chosen gratitude. They faced rejection and still chosen self-worth. They faced betrayal and still chosen to love again. That's what makes them unbreakable. They refuse to let bitterness define them. They turn pain into purpose and suffering into growth. They understand that the things that once shattered them were actually shaping them into someone more capable, more compassionate, more alive. The broken who rise again begin to move differently through life. They become gentler with others because they understand how fragile people can be. They become wiser because they've learned that everything can change in a single moment. They become more focused because they've seen what truly matters when all the noise fades away. Their scars become symbols of power, reminders that they've endured what once seemed unbearable. Every mark, every crack, every wound tells a story of survival, a story that reminds them of what they're capable of overcoming. They no longer seek to appear strong because they've learned what true strength feels like from the inside. There is a kind of magic in those who've been broken and risen again. They radiate a quiet confidence that comes from experience, from knowing that life's storms cannot destroy what's already been rebuilt from ashes. They no longer chase perfection because they understand that beauty lies in imperfection. They no longer fear pain because they've learned how to grow through it. They no longer see failure as the end because they've lived through it and found new beginnings on the other side. They've turned what was once unbearable into a source of power that no one can take away. Every time you rise after being broken, you prove something to yourself. You prove that your spirit is stronger than your circumstances. You prove that no matter how deep the cut, healing is possible. You prove that life's greatest lessons are often hidden inside its hardest moments. The process of becoming unbreakable is not about avoiding pain, but about understanding it, learning from it, evolving through it, and allowing it to refine your soul. You begin to see that every time you were shattered, it was only clearing space for something greater to emerge. When you rise from the ashes, you carry with you the wisdom of every fall. You learn to trust the process, to trust yourself, to trust that even in the darkest moments, something within you refuses to die. That unyielding spark, that will to rise again, is what makes you unbreakable. You stop asking for life to be easier and start asking for the strength to keep going. You stop wishing the pain away and start using it as fuel to move forward. You stop running from your past and start owning it as part of your power. The broken become unbreakable because they've seen how strong they truly are. They've looked at the pieces, gathered them one by one, and rebuilt themselves in something greater than before. They've learned that the same force that broke them can also shape them. They understand that being broken wasn't the end. It was the moment they began to rise with unshakable purpose and unstoppable strength.